Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to another online session of your Class 6 Social Science children. Today we are going to see an interesting lesson in geography, and the lesson is all about the earth in the solar system. So we know what is solar system. Solar system is nothing but the entire heavenly body, right, which is consisting of the sun, the planets and many other celestial bodies. So how did this form? How did this solar system form? How did this earth form? All these things we are going to see today, right? So first we have to understand what is the universe so we live called as, right? What is it? So universe, we call it as today, everything which is a part of this universe was completely connected in one particular point many million years ago, okay? So and all of a sudden that exploded, and then these planets, the entire solar system, the various celestial bodies, all these formed, and that is what we are going to see now. So first, we are all a part of universe. The universe consists of everything that exists in space, including the stars, the planets and the satellites. So that is universe. Universe consists of everything that is in the space, right? So it includes all the planets and even their satellites. So all these put together forms the universe. So first we will understand what is Big Bang theory, right? So what is this bang means? It is a big sound, a very noisy explosion sound, right? So let us see what is this Big Bang theory here. So this is the most accepted theory to explain the origin of universe. So this theory has been accepted universally by everyone, which explains the origin of universe. So with this theory, origin means the starting, okay? So the starting point is called as origin. So this theory is accepted by everyone in the world, that it gives a proper explanation about this universe and how did it form. So that proper explanation we get from this Big Bang theory. And according to this theory, everything that makes up the universe today was contained in a tiny point around 14 billion years ago. So 14 billion years ago, what happened? All these were connected at only one particular point. Everything was there in a point. Yes, and that due to overpressure that exploded, okay? So suddenly this extremely dense point exploded and all the matter it contained was thrown out in the space, right? So all of a sudden, as it was extremely dense, more thicker, okay? What is meant by dense? Dense means thick. Okay, so this point was so thick that the pressure one after the other, many particles put together, was so tightly packed, and all of a sudden it exploded and everything within that particular point was thrown out to the space, right? And after that, this explosion is called as the Big Bang, okay? This universe was born at this point. So at this point, after this explosion took place, the universe was born. And from then the universe continued to expand, and it is still expanding. So from that, I mean from the at the point of this explosion, yes, 14 billion years ago this happened. From then the universe is expanding, 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 and it is expanding even today, okay? And there are all the natural bodies, right? I told you, no? So this universe consists of all the natural bodies, all the planets, satellites, everything. So the natural bodies which are present in this universe, we call them as celestial bodies, okay? So we call them as celestial bodies. So what is a celestial body? It is all the natural body that exists in the universe, right? Then what is the other name for celestial body? It is also called as heavenly body, right? So now we will see, so can you see what in this picture, what is it? Yes, it is all about stars. So let us have a quick introduction about stars. So stars, we usually see them in the night sky. Yes, in our childhood we would have recited a beautiful rhyme on stars. Fine. So they are the huge bodies made up of burning gases. So from the earth, from our house, from our terrace, we see the stars which appear to be just like a very small dot, but they are very huge bodies. Okay, they are very bigger in size than what we think. Okay, so they are huge bodies made up of burning gases. So how are they shining? How come they have light? That is because they are huge bodies which have burning gases, which means some gases are there in the stars which keeps on burning. Okay, so because of that it gives us light. We will be studying about that. Then now they give out light and heat. So because of these burning gases which is present in the star, they give us light and also heat. And the sun is the star that lies closest to the earth. So most important thing we should understand here is the sun is the star. Okay, so it is the huge star. It is the biggest star in the universe, right? Next. Now we are going to see about galaxies. Yes, so what are galaxies? Galaxies are again group of or the clusters of stars. Okay, so most stars exist in clusters of millions or billions and they are called as galaxies. So usually for us it is visible as one or two stars, but usually they are in clusters. Okay, there are many millions and billions put together in the sky. So that is what we call it as galaxy. So a single heavenly body or the single heavy body on the sky which has a burning gas in it that gives us heat and light, we call them as a star, and many stars put together to a group or a cluster, we call them as galaxies, right? And the galaxies are made up of stars, dust and gases held together by gravity. So what are these galaxies made up of? As I told you, it mainly consists of stars. Apart from that, it also contains dust and also the gases which are present, right? So all these are held together, which means, see, if there is nothing to hold everything together, everything will fall apart. Right? For example, when we are going to shop and we are buying more vegetables, okay? If we are not putting them all together in the bag, how will we carry? So there should be something to hold everything together. Yes? So the same way, these stars, dust and gases are held together by this gravity, right? So the galaxies are completely made up of stars, dust and gases, and all these are held together by the gravity. And there are many billions of galaxies in the universe of different shapes and sizes. So there are various galaxies on the universe and they have various shapes and they have various sizes also. So the first thing is the Earth is the part of Milky Way galaxy, right? So here you could see the various shapes of galaxies. Yes, you could see a spiral galaxy, you could see an elliptical galaxy, you could see some irregular galaxies also. Right. So now we are going to see about the solar system. So what is the solar system? It is made up of the sun and the 8 planets and other smaller celestial bodies. So, solar system, what it is made up of? It is made up of sun, which is the center of the solar system, and then it has 8 planets around the sun, and also many other celestial bodies are there in this solar system, which we will be reading in this lesson in detail. So, first we will see about sun. So, as we know, sun is a huge ball of fire. It is the biggest star. So, we have learnt the basic details. So, now tell me, how come the sun is so bright and so hot? We should understand how this happens, right? So, let us see about that now. So, it is a star that lies in the center of the solar system. I have told you. Next, the gravitational force of the sun holds the entire solar system together. See, whatever picture you see about solar system, you would have always seen like sun in the center, 8 planets going around the sun. That is how it is always been shown. Why is it like that? Because there is a very high gravitational force. Gravitational force helps to hold things together. Okay, we are standing on the surface of the earth. Why? How? Because there is a gravitational force on the earth's surface. If there is no gravitational force, we will not be able to stand. Okay, we will be just floating in the air. So, the gravitational force helps us to stand on the surface of the earth. The same way, the gravitational force which is present in the sun, okay, it holds all the 8 planets together, right? So, it also holds the entire solar system. It is not about only the planets, it also holds the various satellites, the other celestial bodies, many celestial or heavenly bodies. All these are held together just by the gravitational force present in the sun. Okay. So, what it is made up of? We are repeatedly seeing that it is a huge ball of fire, big star, everything we are seeing. We have already seen that stars are made up of burning gases. Yes. So, the same way, when sun is a star, then what does it mean? It also has burning gases. So, 2 important burning gases are present in the sun, and they are helium and hydrogen. So, these 2 are the important burning gases that are present in the sun. So, these 2 gases which keeps on burning in the sun, that brings out a chemical reaction. Okay. So, a type of chemical reaction takes place within the sun, and that chemical reaction we call it as nuclear fusion. Okay. So, this chemical reaction is called as nuclear fusion. So, what happens because of this nuclear fusion? This nuclear fusion produces an enormous amount of energy in the form of light and heat. Enormous means large. Very large quantity of energy is generated because of this nuclear fusion. So, what kind of energy is generated? One is light energy and the other one is heat energy. Clear? Now, this is the primary source of heat and light for all the bodies in the solar system. Primary source means this is the important or basic source. Okay, we have no other option other than the sun. Okay. So, if there is no sun, we are not going to have heat and light on the solar system itself. Okay. So, sun is the primary source for heat as well as light for the entire solar system, and the most important thing about the sun, the heat on the sun, okay, the surface of the sun, the heat temperature is 5500 degrees Celsius. So, sun's temperature is 5500 degrees Celsius, right? And we are not feeling that heat. Okay. So, our temperature usually varies from 30 to 40 degrees maximum at the summer. Okay. So, 30 to 40 alone we are feeling, but the temperature of the sun is 5500 degrees Celsius. Why are we not able to feel that heat? Because we are 149.6 million kilometers away from the sun. So, the distance between the earth and the sun is too long. 149.6 kilometers we are away from the sun. So, that is why we are not feeling this much heat on the earth. Right. Next, we will see about the planets. So, we know we have 8 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. So, let us see about that. So, as we know, they are large heavenly bodies or celestial bodies, and they are round in shape usually, yes, and that moves in the fixed path around the sun. So, whenever you see a picture of solar system, as I said earlier, you will be seeing sun in the center and you will be seeing lines around the sun, and on each line there will be a planet placed. Yes, so it means that each planet will go on their own line around the sun. Clear? So, now these paths are known as orbits. So, as I said, when sun is there, so if you have sun here, okay, and you have the various paths like this, okay. So, each line is an orbit. Clear? So, each planet is placed on its own orbit. Each planet has its orbit, and on that orbit it will go around the sun. So, these paths are usually elliptical in shape. Elliptical means oval, okay. So, similar to oval shape, and one complete orbit around the sun is called as revolution. So, the planet, so for example, next to the sun we have Mercury, okay. So, this Mercury, what will happen? It will go around the sun like this. It will complete at the starting point, okay. So, that one complete round is called as a revolution. Clear? So, now, so here you could see sun at the center, yes, and you could see the lines, and on each line you could see one planet, yes. So, these lines are called as orbits, and the planets will go on their line, and one complete, see if this is going to be the starting point, okay. So, this planet will go around the sun, it will complete one full round, it will come back to its starting point. That is called as one revolution. So, this revolution period is usually called as 1 year, okay. The time taken by a planet to make a full revolution around the sun is called as a year, and for Mercury it takes only 88 days to complete one revolution. Why? Because it is very closer to the sun, and also it has a very smallest orbit. Okay, so very small way it has to go. So, it takes only 88 days for Mercury to complete one revolution. But after Mercury we have Venus, and after that we have Earth. Yes, so what happens? The orbit becomes bigger. So, for Earth it takes 365.25 days to complete one revolution. So, that is why we calculate 1 year as 365 days. Is that clear? Now, okay, so we have seen how the planets are going around the sun, okay. So, while they are moving around the sun on their orbits, what they do know? They rotate themselves, okay. So, this is two type of activity at the same time. So, they are going around the sun, and while they are going around the sun, they just rotate themselves, okay. So, they spin around themselves, and that process is called as rotation, and that process is called as rotation. And for one rotation, I mean for one complete round around themselves, it takes 1 day for a planet. Clear? So, planets which while they travel around the sun also rotate or spin around their axis. Axis means it is the center point, okay. So, for example, if you have Earth like this, there is a center point, Yes, so Earth is going around the sun and we have seen that that is revolution 365 days, 1 year, that is over. So now while it is going around the sun, what will happen? The Earth will rotate itself. Okay. So for one complete round, it takes only 1 day, which means 24 hours. Okay, so this is called as rotation, and the time taken by a planet to complete a rotation is called a day. So how long it takes to complete one rotation? We call that as a day. Okay. So the Earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation, and 1 day is called as 24 hours on the Earth. So that is why 1 day has 24 hours on Earth. Clear? And one more thing is, sometimes the planets are visible to our naked eye, which means we can see it just like that through our eyes, yes, on the sky, right? And they do not twinkle because they do not have natural light on their own, because they receive light from the sun and that alone is reflected in the planets, right? And as we know, there are 8 planets in the solar system, and they are arranged in the order of their distance from the sun, which means the planet which is closest to the sun comes first, and the planet which is farthest from the sun being the last planet. So let us see what are the 8 planets. So here you could see Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Right. So these are the 8 planets. I am coming once again: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. So apart from the planets, there are dwarf planets in the solar system, which means they are very small in size such that they cannot be considered as planets. So they are planet-like bodies that are too small to be considered as planets. They are in solar system, but they cannot be considered as planets because very small in size. So the examples are Pluto, Ceres, Eris and Sedna. With this, we are coming to the end of this session, children. See you soon in the next session. Thank you. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.